today it's time to cook. So we are going to be making some French toast. I'm just using regular white bread. If you have other kinds of bread, you could use other kinds of bread. This is pretty fresh, so it's super soft. I like my French toast to be a little stiffer than this, like maybe a few days old. So what I do, if that's the case and it's really soft, which with a sandwich I'd really like it soft, but for this I want it to be a little crunchier, so I'm going to go ahead and toast it. So this is just an extra step that I do. You do not have to do this at home if you do not prefer, but I'm just going to go ahead and stick it in my toaster, pop it in, and while that's toasting, I'm going to go ahead and mix up my egg and milk and cinnamon mixture. So when the bread comes out, I'm going to dip the bread in the egg and then I'll cook it on the skillet. So what we'll need, you need a bowl, and we're going to use 2 eggs. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to crack my egg and make sure there's no eggshell in there. We don't want to eat any eggshell. Okay, and if you get egg on your fingers, you do need to wash your hands and be careful with what you're touching because raw egg can make you sick. Okay, so I've got my 2 eggs in my bowl. I'm going to add a little bit of milk, probably about a tablespoon of milk. And then I'm going to season it a little bit. So I like to season mine with some cinnamon, cut some cinnamon, and some nutmeg. Sprinkle some in. And this is to your liking. If you don't like a whole lot of cinnamon, don't use a lot of cinnamon. If you like a whole lot, add a little bit more. Now I use a lot less nutmeg, just kind of a little sprinkle of nutmeg. And I'm going to use a fork and bust the yolks and just give it a nice stir. Okay, so my egg mixture is ready. I'm waiting for my bread to finish toasting. I'm going to go ahead and put some oil in the skillet. And for this, I'm using vegetable oil. You can use canola oil as well. I just wouldn't use olive oil for this. Olive oil kind of has a strong flavor. And usually when you cook something that's on the sweeter side, you want to use some vegetable oil or canola oil. Okay, so my bread is finished. I'm going to pull that out of the toaster. Okay, make sure we can see everything here. Okay, so again, you will probably get some of this on your fingers, and if you do, make sure that you are washing your hands. I'm going to take the bread. Again, tilt you down a little. There you go. Okay, I'm going to take the bread and I'm going to dip it in. You can hear it's a little bit crunchy. Look, it's coming through the hole. And flip it over. You want to make sure that all parts of it are coated. You want to make sure that the vegetable oil is warm and it's coating the bottom of the pan. And I'm going to use my fork and put my bread in. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the second piece of bread. So I'm just going to dip it in the egg, turn it over, make sure it's nice and coated. I'm going to put it in the skillet. Okay, and I think 2 in the skillet works. So we'll just let this cook for probably about a minute, and then we will flip it over and let it cook on the other side. I think we're getting close to flipping. So you'll just want to check underneath one. You can get your spatula under there. And it looks brown. You go ahead and flip this one. This is the first one that I had in. Oh yeah, that's good. And the other one, I'm not sure the other one's ready just yet. Nope, we'll give that a little bit longer on the other one. And it's always a good idea to make sure that your pan is centered over the flame or the burner. Okay, looking good. So the second side usually doesn't take as long as the first side because the pan is now warm. Just be careful when you're making French toast. You are using egg, so when you're checking your bread, you want to make sure that all parts of the egg are cooked. If you see runny egg anywhere, cook it a little bit longer. And if we look at that side, that's done, so that's good. I'll get ready to pull that off. And that one's not quite done yet. So I'll leave that one in, pull this one off, put it on my plate. Okay, and now we're done. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and stick it on my plate. Make sure my burner is turned off. And if you have some fresh berries, you could top with some fresh berries. If you don't, you can just use some syrup, some pancake syrup. So just pour some pancake syrup on, and then to make it, well, I guess if you want to make it real pretty, you can stir up the plate a little bit. And then this is just some powdered sugar that I've put in an old mason jar, and I used a Parmesan cheese lid, so you can upcycle something like that. And we'll just add some powdered sugar, and you have a delicious breakfast or lunch or dinner or whatever meal you choose to eat this. And I'll show you what one looks like with the strawberry topping. Alright, so our strawberry topping is finished. It's still really warm, and I'm just going to bring it over and just spoon some on top of my French toast. I know, sweetie. Yeah. Okay, and then I'm going to, because I still like syrup, I'm going to put some syrup on it as well, but not a whole lot. And then I will finish it off with a little bit of powdered sugar. All right, so you can see you have a nice French toast with some strawberry topping, and it will be delicious and your family will love it. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you for cooking with me today.